We have a very important afternoon as well. The morning also very important. But okay, so the afternoon is about partnerships, collaboration, and with other very important either organizations or other institutes and so on. So I'm very happy to introduce Nicola Fiore from the EGI, the European Grid Initiative Foundation, who will illustrate a possible connection between this important initiative in Europe for cloud computing and GlobalCoast. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I'm Nicola Fiore from EGI Foundation. I'm a software architect in EGI. Actually, I'm the technical coordinator of the IOSC Beyond project. Thank you. Just the outline of what I'm presenting. I will present who EGI is, what we do, the status of the art of the partnership with EGI, and the future outlooks. Who we are. EGI is an international infrastructure. We provide advanced computing and data analytics for research and innovation. EGI was born in 2010 from the high energy physics computer grid, but now we are a multidisciplinary, multi-technology infrastructure with more than 250 cases and projects developed. In 2024, EGI is an HTC federation, but also a cloud federation. The vision is to provide services to all the researchers that would like to collaborate and conduct world-class research and innovation. We supply computational and storage services, but also not only, we will see after. There are different missions because we talk about the EGI Federation that is that deliver open solution for advanced computing and data analytics in research and innovation. It is a mission separate by the one of the EGI Foundation, that is the branch of EGI that enable the EGI Federation to serve international research and innovation together. This is just a picture of the different participants of the EGI Council. In particular, in this case, I would like just to highlight the Maris NL node and also the EMSO Eric, that together with the EGI Foundation node supply services for the marine, services related to your work. As EGI, we offer this kind of services not only for researchers, but also for federation and for business. But here we are today to focus on the large scale of computing and data analytics services that helps scientists to accelerate their research. Also, this is a big picture of the different kind of services. As anticipated, the compute service, EGI can supply cloud computing and or high throughput computing. but not only, because we can supply for the application notebooks to allow the researcher to to analyze data. We offer also storage services, in particular also services to facilitate the data transfer between the different nodes of the federation. An important service supplied is also related to the security and the identity. The GI check-in allow with just a unique login to access to all the services that are federated. And also, not less, we also offer training services like the FIT-SM training that is very useful to manage big infrastructure, big data center. We also supply service related to the ISO 2727001 or training on the different services supplied by the infrastructure. This is another view of EGI numbers. These are the annual statistics in 2024. Just to, we offered plus 280,000 to 80,000 enabled articles, or plus 372 million of computational job, and we have actually more than 95,000 users. And the other number is just to show the computational capabilities. The projects, we are now involved in more than 36 European funded projects. Which is the status of the partnership in relation to the CoastPredict cloud infrastructure? Actually, the initial prototype that we set up is composed by 2 regions with up to 10 applications. The initial resources are provided by the ULAC-BIM EGI node provider and CMSCC in Italy. For the validation of the CoastPredict cloud infrastructure, we planned to have 4 phases for the initial prototype. The phase number 1 is related to the scientific data that are available on the cloud, and the pilot expert can perform analysis of data with the notebook. In the phase number 2, the pilot expert will become able to produce model simulation on the cloud and perform real-time forecasting and can run application. The phase number 3 will be concentrated on the artificial intelligence application developed on the cloud that will run operationally. And the phase number 4 is planned to open the cloud services to all the external users. We are doing also work on the authentication and authorization infrastructure. In this case, we started to draft a series of user stories where defined to guide the design of the global cost authentication authorization infrastructure. There is the first user story is the catalog access and data analysis, and citizen science data upload that are related to the phase number 1. In the phase number 1, we also plan to have model data upload for collaboration. In the phase number 2, the authentication authorization infrastructure will be integrated with the data upload for collaboration and the wave hazard mapping. The phase number 2 also, the authorization authentication infrastructure will be integrated with the model execution on computing nodes and application execution on computing nodes for the user story 7. So several groups and roles are identified in each user story that we are designing and implementing. As future outlooks, a new resource pool, the protocost.eu has been registered in the AGI operation portal. ULACBIM has started to allocate the resources for the pilot. This is an activity in progress. CMCC will provide additional local resources exploring future collaboration in the context of the European Europe Work Program 2025 is the last activity that is also in progress. So EGI serves as a flexible platform innovation community for scientific projects and experiments to make value out of big data.
Thank you. So this is a prototype, right?
Yes.
That we are developing to show how it might work. So how long is the time for the prototype to come alive? What is the timing?
The first prototype is online. The first with just 2 regions. We are working to evolve the prototype during the next month. Yeah.
Is it?
Well, it will be 2025. We said during the meeting that 2025 will be the time to develop the first prototype and make it available to the community. So this year.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah. The deadline is this year.
So what do you, I have other questions from the audience, please.
Just wonder how much cost to use your cloud service?
This is a very good question. In general, for the I don't have an answer because depend of the specific use case that you would like to deploy on the infrastructure. But for this, you can contact directly the support of EGI to have an estimation. In general, if the node is, the region is involved in the EGI Federation, I would like to say that it's free. So it's just the cost is just for the external user. Also in this day, AGI has published and launched an AGI call to allow also external user to submit their needs, their analysis, asking the use of the computational or storage services. In this case, if you apply to the call, you can have a grant on the use.
Can you show again the network?
Yes.
I have the-
Mm.
Yeah, thanks. Can you say something about the ambition for the high performance computing element of this that we might want to use for model simulations? I mean, I guess maybe it's getting a bit technical, but kind of thinking about the size of job that might be considered on it. Our experience with running Nemo on Amazon Web Services was not particularly good about 5 years ago. Very expensive, very slow, better on our local cluster. I'm kind of assuming things have improved massively since then, but it'll be good to get an idea of, are we talking hundreds of cores, thousands of cores, tens of thousands of cores? Do you have an idea of a scale of ambition here?
No, we are innovating. You talked about 5 years ago. After 5 years, I think now we are more mature. So
larger computations.
yeah.
If I might add to this, you also offer a front end to HPC.
Yes.
Okay. So that's another structure that especially for climate downscaling can be exploited, leaving the front end on the cloud capable of analyzing the data without transferring.
Yeah, if I may add, we are also we have the certification. We adopted the FIT-SM system standard to manage all the infrastructure elements. So there is an infrastructure manager online that can easily be used to set up, to ask also the computational capability or the different services like the virtual machine. So the user can easily ask to have a virtual machine or a Jupyter Notebook to do the analysis. In case there is also the support system, the help desk that can support the researcher to do the best work.
Yeah, just one comment. I think it's evident that we need to better define this prototype within the CORIS core project that was presented this morning by Miguel. So the community is the same, so the partners are the same, but we need to homogenize a bit the message. So in my opinion, the prototype we are developing, AGI and CMCC, should really be the prototype also of CORIS, and the technology is the same. So I think the way we present, so we will meet in these days again with Jay and Miguel, Paula Nassisi and you, and then we can really give the message as more homogeneous. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicola.
You are welcome.
So, and now we have a remote presentation by Dr. Gada El-Serafi from Deltares. She is a very active player in CoastPredict and the DCC on coastal resilience. And she will explain the DCC-CR Partners Alliance Network.
Thank you, Nadia. So
Ada,
can you
are
hear?
you-
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. If you can, because I cannot see actually the presentation, so yeah, thank you.
You cannot see.
Now it's okay. Now it's okay. It's fine. Thank you. It takes a little bit of time, you know. So thanks a lot, Nadia, for the nice introduction. I would like very much to give this talk on the new partners and in the DCC and the partnership that we are starting from 1st of January this year. So in support, of course, of the DCC-CR activities, and as Nadia said, that this is really a great opportunity for us to extend the work that we are doing for the for the CR. And why we are doing that is really actually to tackle the challenges and the tasks that we have, and in order to build a strong connection between science and stakeholders. There are plenty of opportunities for us as partnership in this partnership to expand on the priority of the information that is required for the coastal zone, also to generate knowledge and share it with stakeholders, maybe extend the infrastructure that we have to tackle the challenges at hand and have this early warning systems, and to build a partnership and lump the resources to do much more than we can do as individuals, including the capacity building or development and exchanging the need across the world. So this is why we have been extending, or we would like to extend the partnership in this alliance that we call it. So next slide, please. Thank you. The partner alliance network that we have just mentioned, and that is really translating our vision into a strategy and communicating that and linking it to other potential new partners and existing partners, and to build a business planning to actually tackle the challenges at hand and to integrate the objectives into financial plans. This is also going to be not done individually, but we gather the feedback, test the hypothesis, and extend the stakeholder engagement. We make the necessary adjustment along the way. So this is what we are here to do. Next slide, please. As we said, the present alliance is consisting, of course, of the DCCR, and we joined, Deltares and CMCC has joined starting 1st of January. However, we have been working a lot before 1st of January to align the strategies, as we said. Next slide. And to enhance the goals. Of course, the goals did not change. However, with our input, we have adjusted a little bit how to do things together, and who's doing what, and how we collaborate together to achieve the goals. The new governance structure is also a little bit altered. So now we are having the International Advisory Board as usual. The personnel has increased, of course, from the Deltares side and the CMCC, and the program committee is still in place. However, this partner alliance network is convening every now and then to adjust the ways forward together and to align our strategies into the actions taken. Next. So we have two components. As we said, we call it CoastStress, enhancing the capacity for the global coastal resilience led by Deltares, and also the resilient coastal resilience through knowledge and capacity led by CMCC. I'm going to go through, next slide, I'm going to go through each one of them. The Deltares contribution, next. Okay, so the Deltares contribution is a 5-year initiative, of course, for to be extended, and it tackles those 4 points, the technological and the technical knowledge, the capacity enhancement, policy and governance, also because we are leading some of the international panel for deltas, and the collaboration with other DCCs, as we are also involved in ocean prediction and other, and international network, and I'm going to explain that a little bit more next. So for the knowledge sharing, we do have a lot of tools and digital twins, our work in digital twins and the forecasting tools that we have at Deltares. We also have this software community worldwide that uses those tools for activities around the coastal zone and also marine in general. So we are going to be working together in sharing this knowledge across other activities. Also Eurogoose, the Coastal Working Group. This is also a very active coastal working group led by Deltares, and Deltares is also a vice chair of Eurogoose as such. Next slide, thank you. For the capacity building, we have been, or enhancement, I would say it's not really building anymore. It is really capacity enhancement, because then we work with organizations, with professionals, we empower the professionals and the governmental staff to work on their own forecasting systems and activities. So it is not really only training, it is porting the knowledge that we have built along the way to other governmental bodies and staff and professionals. So this has been actually being developed and has been in the past, I think 100 years of Deltares existence, been a very important thing that we do. And we are going to be doing that also when it comes to the young generation and the professionals of the early career professionals. So we are also supporting their workshop, for example, for next today, I think, and tomorrow they have this workshop. Next, please. As I said, for the policy, we have this international panel on deltas and coast and small islands. We have been working with our government, having the mandate to approach other governments that need or actually have the same challenges that we do have in the deltas. And we have been working together with other countries, 16 members. Now they are 18, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They are 18 member countries that we have signed agreements how to exchange knowledge, help or contribute in setting up their plans for coastal resilience activities and delta activities, and how to make the deltas across their countries and our countries from our knowledge habitable. Next. So we are going again with those 18 countries, and maybe also with the collaboration with international networks, we are going to enhance this knowledge exchange, develop workshops together, collaborate in so many ways. So as I said, there is many of our international networks that are ready to collaborate with the DCC-CR. Of course, Eurogoose, the CoastPredict, well, you know, this is not new, but also from other GEO combinations. So GEO arenas like the Earth Observation and Biodiversity, GEOBON is also very happy to collaborate on the coastal resilience, GeoAquaWatch definitely. And we have also links to the World Water Quality Alliance and other like EuroGeos, which is a European node. As I said, we do also have coordination on global ocean forecasting, including the ocean prediction. We are the chair of the Northeast Atlantic region, and we would be happy to have cross collaboration with DCC-CR. I will not, next please. Now it is very happy I hope I can convey the message because I'm presenting the CMCC contribution to the DCC Alliance on the coastal resilience through knowledge and capacity next. So it's also a 4-year initiative to enhance the coastal resilience, the same through knowledge and capacity, talking about technical expertise and innovation, capacity enhancement, as well collaboration, of course, with the great CoastPredict program and the Global Coast Initiative that you are very much aware of within those 2 days. Also through the support of networking for coastal resilience. Next. For the technical expertise and innovation, CMCC's cutting-edge solutions, of course, is very prominent to say that the early warning systems that is being used at the CMCC and the digital twin and software tools that is being used for the nature-based solutions would be also available and to be used by other communities. We have heard about the cloud-based platforms, I think just the presentation before me. And with the academic papers, with an international research community, that would be very much enhanced together with the partners, CMCC. The interactive online resources, that would be very much basis in the technical expertise and innovation provided by CMCC. Next slide, please. Capacity enhancement training, CMCC is very much famous with that. They have workshops on climate adaptation and coastal monitoring resilience. They will enhance that and will focus on vulnerable regions for stronger climate actions. Of course, the hackathons and the webinars would be the heart of their contribution, and they do support, again, the early career ocean professionals as in this meeting, and others mentoring them and exchanging programs with them. Next slide. Of course, CMCC is the host. Well, we are in this CoastPredict days and Global Coast days, so I think I would not extend this on this slide, but one thing to say that the alignment of the solutions that are provided by those programs are going to be very much used for the capacity enhancement, and including co-design and co-developing the best practices. That is one of the things that CMCC has been busy with and will contribute and continue to contribute with. And of course, through that, they are going to strengthen the secretariat and the connectivity with the program of the DCC-CR. Joint projects would be also in the heart and the core of this contribution and collaboration. Next slide. So the networking for the coastal resilience, it is, of course, as you see from all of the logos, it's very similar networks that we have been working together with CMCC for such a long time, but they are also going to add activities related to the Mercator Ocean International and others, and connect scientists and policymakers and communities at large, specifically for the open access platforms that they are going to be putting forward for data sharing. And of course, we are all going to be parts of the side events at key international conferences. Next slide, please. So what is the benefits? Maybe this is one of the things. Why are we joining forces beside the collaboration and for the benefit of the community? And for all of that, there is also benefits from the endorsement by UN Ocean Decade. So that would increase the visibility within ocean science community and policymakers with the work that we do and the knowledge that we put forward and the workshops that we are going to do. It will strengthen the connection with the UN partnership worldwide, and that is why we are actually joining. It is really this partnership that we are seeking, to have a better impact, I think. And by enhancing the collaboration and having this knowledge exchange, we are creating new partnership and collaboration for the benefit of the coastal community. Next slide, please. So I would like very much to thank you for this opportunity to be here. Well, here online, I wish I would be there, but I couldn't. So thank you, and ready to take any questions. I cannot hear anyone. Cannot hear you, Nadia.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you very much. We have time only for a brief question. We are a bit late. If somebody has an urgent question, okay. If not, anyway, thank you, Gada, very much for the presentation, showing the complexity of acting together for coastal resilience. Okay, so now we have another important partnership to establish and strengthen. So we have Dr. Jérôme Bienveniste from COSPAR, previously ESA, introducing a very, very important group that is CEOS Coast, Coastal Observations, Application Services and Tools, Virtual Constellation. Thank you. Nice name, Virtual Constellation.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. So I'm Jérôme Bienveniste. I did my PhD in Toulouse in space oceanography long time ago. Spent 2 years in Boston. Got hired at the European Space Agency when we launched ERS-1 and got fired because I'm too old. And now I've been spending 16 years in COSPAR, but also in CEOS and in the coast. And I'm also a member of the scientific advisory group of CEOS Coast. And so I have a couple hats here, and I'm going to talk to you very briefly about what we do in the CEOS, the Committee for Earth Observation Satellites, regrouping space agencies around the world. And this particular working group called Coastal Observations, Applications, Services, and Tools. What a great acronym. And so basically, we like to push the uptake of satellite data with a sense of equity in order to fill temporal and spatial gaps of in-situ data, and also to leverage models to grow our understanding of how to use satellite data and how to develop applications. And how do we scale up projects and methods that put satellite data information, in-situ data, also in the hands of more people. So the idea is partnership with the satellite community, but also partnership with the in-situ community, and of course the modeling community. So who is CEOS, or what is CEOS? It's so the Committee on Earth Observation Satellites, regrouping major world space agencies. And basically, we've created this focused team, which was an ad hoc team, now is promoted to a virtual constellation, because at CEOS, we have the idea of virtual constellations, like we take all the satellites that do one thing, like look at the coast, for instance. And so what can CEOS do for you? Like Kennedy said, what can you do for your country? So leverage global satellite data, promote the uptake and see how it works for your community, your regional, local case. Co-design to make it better and more useful, and advance the products. So we have pilot projects, and basically two pilot themes. It's everything that goes from land to sea and everything that goes from sea to land. And so we look at shoreline mapping, bathymetry, flooding, and also coming from land, the turbidity, the coastal eutrophication, and the blue carbon, and so on. So we have selected a few pilot areas to start with, listed here. And of course, these pilot areas can contribute to the global coast sites as well. So why do we want to do co-design? Well, you probably know that already for a long time. The idea is to make sure that what we do in terms of needs, that Nadia explained that at Space Agency we call requirements, and develop also an easy access to the data, to make sure that data sources are well controlled, well calibrated, validated, and then trusted. And of course, making everything free and open source, and try regionally, and then of course have an ambition to be operational and global. And we organize a training also probably in Nice in June 2025, or in Vienna. We don't know yet exactly the details. So this is the type of data that we manipulate and we make available, and also we look for the in situ counterpart to bring into Sea Coast. And so we're looking for people who have a problem to solve locally and have in situ data and merge it with satellite data. Because satellite data doesn't work if you don't make sure you have in situ data to know what you're doing. It's a bit like stepping on your scale in your bathroom and not putting it on 0 before you do that. It's a bit dangerous. And so I could stop here and say, thank you. You understand what Sea Coast is. But I put everything in a PDF I gave to the organization with all the links and how to access people to talk to. But now I can show you a few examples, but it's going to be fireworks. And if you blink, you might miss something. And so we have a coastal inundation project using optical and radar. And we try to do all these things by merging the data. And this project has a couple pilot sites to demonstrate. It uses optical and radar, and it produces different products, like 3 products for the flood detections, and optical and synthetic aperture radar with a constellation of SAR satellites and so on. And then blended flood detection with a mix, a merge synthesis of both optical and radar. And this is just on this side, on your left side, you have the radar, and on the right side, you have the optical, and it matches pretty well, and it complements itself. SAR looks through the cloud when there's a big weather system. The optical is not very useful. So this is an illustration of where you can get the data and the visualization at remotesensing.earth. This is using and displaying Sentinel-1 SAR. 2 examples of hurricanes that we had in 2004, Ivan, and 2020, Isaias. And basically, we look at before, after. So you have the sea surface temperature, before, after, and chlorophyll A, before, after, and these maps. And so, again, this data is available. The bathymetry is very important in the coastal zone, and especially the link between bathymetry and topography. Make sure it coincides, because it does in the real world. And so the idea is to develop satellite-derived bathymetry, which really helps in monitoring shoals and also working on the storm surge response and so on. So this is a list of the people in France who are working on satellite-derived bathymetry. That's what they publish, and also they have data available. There's a special project in the Space Climate Observatory on mangrove, and this is something to set up a platform for operational monitoring of mangrove forest by remote sensing. And you have all the links there, and it will be in the PDF. The lithoscope project is a bit like the EO at Sea project, which I was running, which is looking at sea level and coastal hazard on extreme events. And again, you have a link and a person to talk to. Of course, we were promoting a lot the use of this super duper dual satellite that we've been working on for 30 years, and that we finally got, which is a 2-dimensional altimeter. It makes a map. It's called Surface Water Ocean Topography. And there's a group of early adopters, and great results are coming through this from this satellite. People in Seahorse Coast are also contributing from India to looking at the coastal water color, and also looking at the shoreline moving around, like we saw earlier. And again, also looking at the height of the intertidal zone in where there's tides and also estuaries and so on. And this is done by the Australian partners. This is an example of where you can get all this data in one go. It's the application knowledge hub of the Seahorse Coast, and you go in there and you choose what you want. And so I've been talking 9 minutes. I hope it's okay. And here comes what I've been doing from ESA. So we have an ocean cluster with a lot of themes like ocean extremes, for instance. And this is all the projects that are running in the cluster and have been running. And all these projects produce prototype data. And in particular, we have also, well, not in particular, but we also have the Climate Change Initiative, which I've been running for almost 14 years. And now this project is going close to the coast, and we're measuring sea level at the virtual station close to the coast, meaning not 15 kilometers, but 2 or 1 kilometer from the coast with specialized processing. And this is the map of the average of the last 2 kilometers to the coast of the trends. So you see in red it's rising, in blue it's going down. And so I also run an important big project with 20 people working. You can see all the logos that is also tackling both the land to sea and sea to land activities. And we have produced many products, basically geophysical level products with special reprocessing, both in the coast and inland, especially trying to get the understanding of what goes on at the estuaries. But it's very difficult to get the oceanographers and the hydrologists working together, so it needs to be pushed a little bit forward. So we also developed a roadmap in order to push forward. It's not obvious that it's going forward, maybe due to lack of resources after I got fired for old age, but I'm still really lobbying that we do. So this is the kind of data set. In blue is the ocean data set. The other one is the inland water part, and it's available. EU at Sea was another big project. You can see all the logos of the people working, and there are a few in the room who are involved in this activity. And the idea is to do a data-driven reconstruction of extreme sea level events and have a predictive capability and better prepare for the impact of extreme sea level rise. So there's a long list of products that we've manipulated and that we are outputting. Essentially total water level, which is a sum of things that we need to master, like astronomical tide, like the wave run-up, and also the storm surge itself. And so these are the kind of products that are also made available upon request. And we worked on different sites, but it has to be globalized, has to become operational. And again, maybe it's not going really forward from ESA. And I'm trying to push that someone pushes that and gets a sequel to this activity, and so we can continue producing these data. So there's also a special issue. We've produced a lot of documents and data set, and there's a special issue where we're going to at least publish 9 papers coming from this contract. I developed the Altimetry virtual laboratory. It was based on the grid, just like we heard before. And thanks to grid, which is free, as long as you contribute, I funded 500 years of CPU to exploit the synthetic aperture radar. So 12 minutes and 30 seconds. I have just a couple more slides. So this is the kind of things that you can do. We have 266 users. We've, in the last 8 years, 30 public peer-reviewed publications for PhD thesis. This is a very good tool. And again, it has to be supported. and it provides the kind of data that you can use near the coast because it's synthetic aperture radar. So the resolution is not 7 kilometers, but 300 meters. And it can go all the way to 20 meters if you do the fully focused synthetic aperture radar processing, which is very costly. So you need a lot of computing power. And much more, because every contract at ESA goes into the ESA Open Sciences catalog that you can tap on. So that's the website. And you go in there, and it's by theme. You go into your theme, like coastal ocean, and you get the data you want. A slide with the links. So in the PDF, you can click on those links, and some literature with just DOIs. Click randomly on the DOI and you'll find something that's interested. So before I thank you for your attention, I just want to remind you that our ambition at CEO's Coast is to facilitate a widespread use of coastal ocean remote sensing data, particularly among the communities with a yet unfulfilled need for satellite Earth observation data information. And we'd like to collect in situ data with a partnership and the idea of co-design. So I thank Mary Beth Neely for helping me putting together these slides. And if you want to contact us, the email address of Mary Beth and myself is here. Thank you.
So let's leave, since of the importance of the topic, a little bit time for questions.
In the prototype we were discussing before with the GI, maybe we should think how to integrate some of these tools, if it's possible to integrate them directly, because probably are all cloud-based, also the one from ESA or the one you present. So do you think it's possible to integrate them in other platforms so that it becomes accessible in one shop stop?
Yeah, well, on one hand, in CEO's Coast, there is the application knowledge hub where you can have access to data. On the other hand, all these contracts develop open source software. And so with all the links that you have in EO for Society, you should contact the people who have the intellectual property, which is not ESA, but the people who did the work, and see if you can share something like computing power with the grid, or just use the open software and adapt it to your case.
Yeah, maybe CEOs can support this integration somehow. I mean,
yeah, I
facilitate.
Think it is the philosophy anyway.
Exactly.
It is the state of mind that to share what is available in open source. Like the Open Science Catalog is that, let's say it's open science. And behind this data, there is the software. And more we push people who publish papers to publish their code so people can reproduce or reuse in a different area of the world.
So can CEO's Coast become the hub for satellite data for our sites, our pilot sites, in certain data of the, yeah.
That is the plan.
We're pushing toward in that direction, yeah. Uniting the forces and I think contributing to what CoastPredict and GlobalCoast are doing, not being redundant, of course. So even though redundancy has a good thing is that you prove that you're on the right direction if you did it with two different methods and you get to the same results. So yes, that's the spirit.
Thank you. Thank you again, Jérôme. Very important. And now we have the National Research Council of Canada, Thomas Pusto from the National Research Council, that will tell us about their plans on coastal resilience or more.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Nadia. Yes, so as a newcomer to this group, I will take a few minutes to describe to you what the National Research Council is all about, then go into a bit of detail about our own research center, and then give you some highlights of recent and continuing research in the space of coastal resilience. So the National Research Council of Canada, it's a Federal is our federal research and technology organization. We are part of the government, but we operate at somewhat arm's length. The research is carried out by 12 research centers spread out around the country. We work in very flexible ways, in that we have lots of partners. We also have our own set of programs through which we can fund some collaborators, but at the same time, we also have mandates to generate revenue. So that's a bit unusual for a government organization. Yet this is what brings us kind of to work at eye level with industry and others in the space. The second part of what the NRC is really good at is supporting small and medium-sized businesses. So there's a whole branch of the NRC that does nothing but that, and there's special funding and networking opportunities for those organizations. Myself, I work at the Ocean, Coastal, and River Engineering Research Center. And on the little map here, you see that two locations are circled, so St. John's, Newfoundland, and Ottawa. And in both of these locations, we maintain facilities. I'll speak about those in a little while. We're organized in a series of technical teams, and our main strategic areas, we call them Resilient Shores, Zero Impact Ships, Safe Operations, and Secure Canada. And what I will be talking about today is mostly embedded in the Resilient Shores theme. So here we're looking at yes, coasts, but also the shorelines of inland waters and waterways, lakes, and so on. And the second half of what we do really relates to marine operations and ships, and improving the safety, improving the efficiency of those, but I will not speak in great detail about it. Regarding our clients and collaborators, you will see that we work with pretty much everybody. So we work with small companies, large companies, governments at community, municipal levels, up to national, international level, as well as academic institutions and research centers around the globe. Our facilities are these kind of physical experimentation basins in St. John's and in Ottawa. And we use them sort of in classical ways to validate and improve designs, for example, for coastal fortifications or hull designs, things like that. But they're also an integral part of our digital strategy, in that the numerical modeling, hydrodynamic modeling, and machine learning based modeling that we're doing, it all needs good data, good observations, and increasingly we get those from our laboratory experiments. Now I'm just going to go through several recent and ongoing project activities that we have. So this very first one here, computational fluid design based climate resilient dams and embankments. Here we're looking at the use of CFD capabilities to enhance the resilience of dams and embankments. This is really a climate change adaptation activity. And as I said before, so for these ones here, so we started getting data for our models by setting up experiments in one of our facilities, and then we can play through scenarios in this kind of numerical way. We are also in the process of developing the first Canadian guideline on how to use CFD models for this sort of climate risk assessment for dams and embankments. And I should point out that a lot of our work, the endpoints of which, I mean, we do publications and such as well, but a lot of the important endpoints for us in terms of the impact that we want to have is in generating tools, guidance materials, standards, best practices that are then open to practitioners. So that's a very big part of what we do. Nature-based solutions has been a focus now for the last number of years. We conducted a number of projects on different pilot sites. We were requested by some of our clients to carry out targeted studies. And again, we combine our expertise in physical modeling, numerical modeling, and in field work to do this. We work with a range of clients and collaborators at different levels. And so right now we're set by the end of this fiscal year, which is March 2026, to we have issued the first Canadian design guide for coastal nature-based solutions. We are participating in a number of activities to generate guidelines for Arctic and subarctic regions, nature-based solutions. We are also contributing to the Standards Council of Canada national standards for coastal nature-based solutions. So all of the work that we're doing is very much geared towards putting practical information and tools in the hands of practitioners in this space. We're working actively on adapting Canadian coastal infrastructure to increase climate resilience. Of course, much of that infrastructure was designed with different environmental parameters in mind, and in the face of a changing climate, you're still faced with the same infrastructure, and so we're looking at ways of increasing the resilience. And there we look at all aspects of gray infrastructure, hybrid, and green infrastructure. And again, our nature-based solutions often have a place here by combining it with traditional gray infrastructure. One thing that is new to us, but we now are in a position to test according to the North American standards emergency flood protection barriers, and that is important because it's an emerging industry in Canada, and Canadian companies had a hard time to carry out those tests anywhere in Canada, and so now they can be carried out in our facilities. We've been working with both Canadian standards organization, and North American standards, as well as the British Standards Institution for this. And again, we're working with the Canadian Standards Association and the Standards Council of Canada towards developing an actual standard for this Canadian standard, I should say. Linked to this general idea is also our projects that relate to retrofitting houses, buildings, residential dwellings to make them more flood resistant. And again, we work with a range of collaborators here. We carry out full-scale tests. So you see an image here of a building, really part of a building built in one of our basins, and then we test different flood-proof doors as well as flood barriers at depth. Our basins are configured such that we can simulate different environments, different wave heights, winds, currents, those sort of things. And so those are to which we expose those technologies in order to test them. One example here of some of the work we're doing that's ice related. In fact, being a Canadian organization, ice is something that takes up a good part of our work. This is one example here where we looked at distributions and projections of river ice on the St. Lawrence River. And I just put that here to bring ice a little bit in, and even though it might not be very important to the group assembled here, but also to show that we're working in coastal areas, but inland waterways, lakes and such, wherever there's human activity and infrastructure and dwellings, those are areas that we are active in. Storm surge data for infrastructure design. So here we're compiling information and making it available to stakeholders that are concerned with coastal flooding. It was first built for the Pacific coast of Canada, and then we moved on we're developing right now for the Arctic and the Atlantic regions. And this is also something where we build tools, and in an effort to make them available to our stakeholders, we put information on, we put that on the cloud. And we used to do that with different parts of different projects that we're having. So we would design different web-based tools. And now we're currently in the process of putting this all together. We have developed this sort of framework called Modulo here. We're using a cloud-based approach, and basically it's sort of a generic capability now, or we're moving towards that, where you can build a hydrodynamic model on it, and then have different applications built on it. This is always a work in progress, but again, our ambition here is to make that information where possible publicly available. And with that, I thank you very much for your attention, and happy to answer my question.
How can we become your members?
Just very easy. We'll talk, and so we really are very, very interested in collaboration. Virtually nothing that we do in isolation, and particularly the international expansion in a way of our activities is of great interest to us. So we're very much glad and grateful that you invited us to come here, and not just to escape minus 20 degrees at home, but to actually be part of this wonderful group and then discuss how we can collaborate. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, this is also very exciting that we really get some engineering connected to oceanography, and it's very promising. I think we have so many problems to do.
And I would say this is interesting because our approach, as you mentioned, is very much sort of an engineering approach. And sometimes we notice it when, in more scientifically focused forums that, we're approaching problems from different ways. But I think in that it's a very positive, we
for the coast, we have to converge.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And now, we have the last of this part of the day. It's online. Is Dr. Ben Williams from Fugro. It's our traditional industrial partner, and has been close to many of our choices, many of our developments, and we would definitely would like to strengthen this relationship in the future. Are you online, Ben?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. And
Perfect.
we see your screen. Okay.
Even better.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, Ben Williams with Fugro, the Global Metocean Director, but representing our climate and nature space, as well as our coastal resilience activity. So I'm going to give a high-level overview of Fugro, and then a few key projects and things we've been working on in the coastal resilience acquisition space, and a case study on some acquisition work. So for those who aren't familiar, Fugro is the world-leading geodata specialist. We support clients in managing project risks through project life cycles. This includes planning, construction, and the operation of assets, and it spans both the land and marine environment. So converging that engineering, that acquisition, that data, that analysis in that coastal zone. So we really focused on our 60-year history on unlocking insights from geodata. This is the Earth system, but not just the foundations, the CPT, the geotechnical, geophysical, the metocean, the oceanographic, the environmental space on top of it. We have a unique integrated proposition that brings together these digital twins. At a very high level, I think these are 22 numbers, so it's a slightly higher, but split across 4 regions between the Americas, Europe, Africa, Middle East, and India, and the Asia Pacific region, representing somewhere in the neighborhood of 12,000 staff at this time. So as part of our updated strategy from a couple of years ago, we've established a climate and nature team to support the water market, focusing on mapping baselines, modeling risks, and monitoring changes to inform decision making. It's really a focus on these same critical insights that need to inform the engineered solutions that are impacting all stakeholders in the coastal zone. This spans climate change, biodiversity loss, and really a data-first approach. I will play a brief video now, so you don't have to listen to me talk the whole time, around our ISPRA mapping project. Hopefully the sound comes through.
In our oceans, seagrass meadows are crucial for CO2 sequestration, marine life, and the health of our planet. Yet only 20% has been mapped. Protecting these ecosystems needs a comprehensive approach, with innovative technology playing a key role. The Marine Ecosystem Restoration Project, funded under the National Recovery and Resilience Plan, aims to restore and protect marine habitats in Italy. Our approach integrates advanced technologies such as LiDAR, satellite-derived bathymetry, aerial bathymetric LiDAR, multi-beam echo sounding, and autonomous underwater vehicles to comprehensively map and analyze marine ecosystems crucial for conservation efforts. Aerial platforms will carry a gravimeter alongside LiDAR to measure gravitational data, aiding in producing accurate coastal geoid models. From dedicated aircraft equipped with LiDAR to autonomous underwater vehicles capturing 3D images of seagrass meadows, our technology spans aerial to underwater segments, supported by AI for geospatial data analysis. Managed by the VirGeo digital platform, real-time mapping and monitoring enable accurate assessment of seagrass conservation status, identifying degradation and supporting proactive and restoration measures. Together, we secure the future of seagrass meadows for generations to come. Join us in our mission to safeguard our oceans and conserve their biodiversity.
So building on that exciting project that we have underway and data collection going, we have subsequently been awarded the Deep Ocean Buoy Network for ISPRA as well, that contributes to the real-time information system to support tsunami risk, and 11 oceanographic buoys deployed around the Italian coastline to contribute the oceanographic and meteorological parameters that can be blended with that importing mapping effort to put the hands in the decision makers and advance our understanding at the project location. If we change to the Americas region, many may be aware of the Florida Seafloor Mapping Initiative. So funded through the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Fugro has captured a very large bathymetric data collection, 14,000 square kilometers of airborne LiDAR along the eastern seaboard, and recently awarded and mobilized the vessel-based surveys for hydrographic survey beyond the 20-meter isobar to 200-meter in the locations here on the left side and down by the Keys. This will amount to another 42,000 square kilometers of data collection that Fugro will be providing to the Department of Environmental Protection, and will be made publicly available to again allow stakeholders to build solutions from. And then taking from sort of the acquisition and asset deployment and sort of products more into the solution space, a case study that we've put together based on some work we performed in Southwest Texas. We had been contracted to collect topobathy data under one of our NOAA IDIQ contracts. As this data had been collected by us and we had access to all of that raw data, following delivery, we sought permission from NOAA to be able to bring that data together and run some experiments and some adaptation analysis. So not just the state-of-the-art airborne sensors, similar to what was utilized for the ISPRA project, but we used machine learning techniques to get detailed land cover information that we could then advise the friction coefficients for our hydrodynamic modeling, as well as the extracting building elevations. So these are actually flood elevations for the buildings being extracted from the Toba-Bathy collection, and then bringing that together with hydrodynamic modeling and creating a deliverable that easily communicates to stakeholders at South Padre Island and Port Isabel communities, so they could see sea level rise scenarios for 2040, 2080, 2100, and the modeled impacts of storm surge from a 100-year storm through all of these phases. Allowed for easy communication to those stakeholders and to engage in that conversation about approaches for adaptation for now and in the future. So with that, I will take any questions if there are. Sorry, I can't hear the room.
Company Global Initiative. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can now.
Oh, okay. So I was saying thank you. And are there questions? You know, in the coastal area, our collaboration with the industrial partners is very important. Not everything can be solved by the public. You see already ISPRA is a public institution in Italy using the value, of a company such as Fugro to do something specific. Now, clearly, we need to think on the sustainability of that approach, but it's an important one for us also to develop a concept. Please.
Gracias, Professor. Just to add or perhaps to request Fugro, because I recall in here in Lecce 2 years ago, they mentioned that they were conducting a sort of workshops, like a consultation with the stakeholders to enhance the products. And I think there was also a replica in the Caribbean. Perhaps he can mention that or elaborate on this experience, for us.
Yes, there's been varied success from similar studies conducted, Palau, Fiji, and some work across the Caribbean. I believe that was Turks and Caicos and a smart islands approach we'd taken. Yeah, we see these as important sort of exploratory journeys with the stakeholders, really bringing consensus of the best approach and the funding to make these sustainable efforts and bring not just that initial mapping, but converting into that modeling and monitoring approach to support adaptation has been some of the challenge, right? How do these become sustainable activities and how do we build this resilient future for both the small island developing states, but also sort of the digital ecosystem for decision making?
We have one more and then we stop.
A quick question. I really like the work you are doing with the seagrass meadows, and I think that's a great opportunity for certain institutes or certain nations that we don't have the AUV or the glider capability. Is that something that we can do through you within certain projects?
Yes, absolutely. We are very open to partnering and are working in that partnering space. The way that we've applied that now is similar to NOAA data collections, where it's a commission survey component that we can execute as part of an IDIQ, and then that data is shared. The same applies for the Florida State Mapping Initiative. All of that data is collected and then shared, and then we're interested to engage with research institutions that want to understand more about the data, the metadata, and uses for that to help advancing the research in that space.
Yeah, so if I might add, Ben, some discussion, we have, when we were thinking about the Global Coast experiment, when we are thinking that what we are building should be shared with the companies, so that you can use the data that we collect. And at the same time, we have to think that working with us, some of your data, whatever the government decides to make it public, could be also made it public through this through this cloud system. So that was also the intent. And if you have more comments, please.
Yeah, no, correct. That is aligned. I was hoping to be with you this week so we could explore some more of those discussions about bringing that data system, the ecosystem, the joint data delivery together. But I think with the deliverables coming out of CMCC in this year and the scalability I've heard about in the previous presentations, I think we're at a good point to really build on those strengths together.
Thank you so much. Okay, thanks again. Last applause.
Thank you all.
Yes.
Okay, moving to the next session, which I chair and I'm the only speaker as well. Very efficient. So